Have you ever had the opposite of a nightmare? Where waking up from it brings you agony? You were in that job, on that adventure, or with that person. But now you're awake. You desperately hug your pillow, trying to fall back asleep to maybe re-enter that paradise. The new sun creates a bright line across the ceiling and down the wall that you lay staring at, going over in your head the things that you'd sacrifice in order to experience that dream for just 5 more minutes. What exactly would you give to live in that dream? Would you perhaps pay $3,500?
Dad, the machine is making you do evil things.
Rebellious kids. I think it's very foolish to assume that Apple's dive into virtual reality will just be another fruitless addition to a fad. It's true to say that VR and augmented reality in their current states are novelties that are far too unergonomic and expensive to be taken seriously because the masses of society cannot really get their hands on it. They're interesting and they make for an entertaining topic of conversation at a party when you want to sound smart about tech and science, and they're fun to try out at tech show booths. But you are inciting a boogeyman if you actually think that it's gonna go anywhere. At first, this might seem like a stupid move by Apple. It's expensive, it obviously seems dystopian, it looks weird, and I already have my iPhone. What else can I want? You'd be surprised. The thing about boogeymen is that they are imaginary, and Apple, being one of the largest and most influential tech firms in the world, is very real. And they know all of the complaints that I just listed. And they're making this thing. They know that something truly becomes a breakthrough when it allows normal citizens of a society to conveniently access a once luxury good. Ease of access to things people want, not necessarily what is good for them, is what companies sell.
This is a day I've been looking forward to for 2.5 years. Every once in a while, a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything.
If you don't remember, when Apple revealed the iPhone in 2007, it was met with a lot of praise, but also a lot of skepticism. Some said it was too expensive, that having a touchscreen on a phone was ludicrous, that it was going to be a piece of tech for fringe nerds who like gadgets, and that it was a copy of already existing products that had failed to gain any traction. But the iPhone turned out to be pretty popular. It gave us the power of almost every electronic device in the palm of our hand, which destroyed our brains. And Apple aims to do the same thing with the Vision Pro, but now you don't even have to hold it. The power of every electronic device in the palm of your mind. It has the ability to block out the world around you and turn your environment into anything from a beach to a movie theater. It can seamlessly keep you connected to people as if they are in the room with you. And it can also surround you with augmented hallucinations like notification bubbles, screens, and ads that follow you around wherever you go. You can use it to capture audio and visual recordings and relive any memory you want. You can manipulate this little digital world using little hand motions. There are sensors in it that accurately track your eye movements, removing the need for a mouse or a touchscreen. Oh geez, I wonder what apps will do with that information. And despite being the product's first iteration, it apparently does all of this very well. So well that it is something that you have to see to believe or buy. This sounds worlds away from a half-baked piece of tech that is just a company's desperate iteration of a trendy gadget. This seems to be a legitimate push towards the future of technology and our interaction with it. For now, the Vision Pro seems to be intended to be used as an addition to the iPhone. It will do what the iPhone does, just with the added immersion and work alongside all the other Apple products that you own. Because after all, it's stuck in your house and to your face. You can put it in a little box in the back of your closet and forget about it. It can't follow you, it can't hurt you anymore, but that's for now. Baby eventually learns to walk and to run and to give chase and kill. Apple's hope is that you'll be let loose in front of this apparatus and you'll form naturally into a dependent and obedient customer that feels as if they are enlightened and free and living the good life.
No, I don't want to go. No,
What are you watching?
Oh, it's, nothing.
Okay.
Have you ever read Hyperion? If you haven't, you should, and I'm not going to spoil it, but it's a science fiction novel written by Dan Simmons, and it takes place in the 29th century. This obviously makes it home to many advanced technologies. One of them is called the Comlog, which is a neural implant that allows you to see pop-ups and floating screen, and you get the connection here.
But no, Gert, in no way does this Vision Pro reach the level of insanity that the Comlog does. It's still bulky and funny looking, and it is intended to be used as a home entertainment device.
Yeah, it's supposed to replace the television and the monitor. It's gonna be good for viewing movies and YouTube videos and accompanying your Mac as a screen to work on, and it only has 2 hours of battery life, so you can't take it with you unless you plug it in. In a century, we have gone from computers not even powerful enough to run Roblox, taking up an entire room, to the iPhone, and 16 years of the iPhone has made it currently more powerful than dedicated gaming consoles in 2007 when it came out. Do not be surprised when in the next few decades we have a Vision Pro 10 or something that is so small that it's not an inconvenience to always wear it. All the ways that your iPhone distracts you will now just be floating in your face all the time. Perfect life of endless stimulation, all generously provided by the benevolent companies like Apple.
There are certain products that shift the way we look at technology and the role it plays in our lives.
Apple's business model has always been to exploit humanity's hopes and dreams, and they will continue to do this as they release new iterations of the Vision Pro. You know what's crazy? People don't even need technology to live in a delusional fantasy world, and tech companies know this. Human beings have a wide array of incredible abilities at their disposal. My favorite one is the ability to dream while being awake. Superior cognitive powers of simulation. This is cool. It helps us problem solve and strategize and form dreams, to entertain ourselves and appreciate the beauty of life, and to reminisce on the past, but also trap ourselves in delusions. Most people will say that they do not have delusions, but it's stupid to say that. It's delusional. Delusions are for crazy people. I'm not crazy. I know me. I'm not a wacko who belongs in one of those facilities. I'm in control, and I choose not to talk about it. I am a civilized, productive member of society. I have merit. I don't do anything that I don't want to do. It's dangerous to think too much about psychology anyway. I'm not talking to that shrink. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. What if I told you that delusions can be a lot more subtle than being straight up out of your mind? What separates a delusion from a fantasy? What separates a delusion from escapism? Our society has a serious problem with escapism. Instead of simply being alone with our thoughts and emotions and addressing them with correct and generative actions, after healthily appraising them, we delusionally hope that distracting ourselves will fix it, that looking at our phones or playing video games or watching movies or drinking wine or just entertaining the wrong thoughts and expectations is the solution to melancholy, anxiety, disillusionment, people not loving us. Escapism doesn't necessarily need a piece of technology or chemical substance to occur. This is something that I feel is very often overlooked, or that we lie to ourselves about. We like to point the finger at the technological zeitgeist, blaming it for removing us from reality and taking all meaning from our lives. But are we pointing the finger at ourselves for allowing it to do so? Or just doing it ourselves? Anything can be a form of escapism, not just drugs or video games, but also hopes and dreams, and they often work in tandem with the physical outlets we seek to escape into. Not that you shouldn't have dreams, but are you questioning whether or not your dreams and motivations are based on reality? Is what we think we want actually what we want? Have we done enough digging to find that out? Do you just want to shut up those voices in your head and enter a state of endless bliss until you die? Or do you want to live your life? Apple and other companies know this sad reality about the incredible cognitive ability humans have to trap themselves in fruitless fantasies, and they sell us the thing that we think is the solution to that fantasy. And maybe they do want to help. I don't know. But I don't think it's the solution. No matter how positive the motives you give the company, they're still appealing to these emotional vulnerabilities in order to sell you another product.
Hey, can I talk to you about something important?
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I can't do it anymore. The more and more I struggle, the more I feel like I'm no longer living the life I want to, or pursuing something that is worth pursuing. It seems like everyone else has got it figured out, and no matter how many good things or people I surround myself with, I'm filled with a perplexing sense of isolation. Are you even listening?
What are some of the solutions that the Apple Vision Pro presents to us? 1. Entertainment, obviously. You'll never have to be alone with your thoughts again. 2. Productivity. This thing will help you be more productive and accomplish your dreams, and also to never be alone with your thoughts because you're working. 3, and this one is a doozy, being connected to those you love. If you buy this, you can always be connected to social media instead of being alone with your thoughts, and you can talk to people without leaving the comfort of your home, without leaving your other Apple devices. We are evolved people. In this technological age, we leave behind the animalistic evolutionary desires of our subconscious that often force us to make real connections with people in person. Did you know that the Apple logo is the forbidden fruit of Adam and Eve because Apple believes this world isn't good enough, so they're trying to build their own god. Oh no, but you can be in person. You know, if you buy it and you wear it, you can still see your friend right through the front because it's transparent. No need to use your eyeballs. Really? Be a little bit more excited. If you don't do it right, then it's ruined.
Dad, please stop. We miss you.
Shut up. I'll delete that. So these are all bad for your brain, but one of them is incredibly disturbing. This is the ability to relive your romanticized memories over and over again in order to distract you from now. The memory capturing feature is insane. People already get stuck in the past in their own heads, and giving them access to all their memories all the time is just heroin, especially if this becomes something that you can wear everywhere. Imagine someone wearing something like this and all they're thinking about is whether the shot that they are capturing now is at the perfect angle and lighting for a later viewing as an encapsulated movie, essentially reducing the real human beings and places in front of them to the level of a potential consumed good. Nope, bad, very bad. I mean, so many people already walk around with menacing grins and glazed over eyes looking for the right angle or situations to capture on their smartphones in order to share it on social media or watch it over and over again in hopes that it'll last forever. This pornographizing of human experiences and other human beings, where you treat anything and anyone as a metaphorical bong rip, is incredibly damaging to the human psyche. It makes you focus on the products and the feelings you get rather than the people and things around you themselves. That's not reality, it's an Instagram story. This was your psyche, one unified whole. And this is it now, fragmented. You can purchase these pieces on the App Store. And like I said, we already do this without technology in our own minds. Digital entertainment has only exacerbated it by its hyper-stimulating nature. It has accelerated the solipsism of an already indulgent population of creatures to the speed of a supercomputer. It's frying our neurons and has either made us want more and more deranged content at a faster speed or not want anything at all. If you try to hold a bird, you'll strangle it. If you try to grip water, it'll run through your fingers. If you try to fall back to sleep chasing a dream, you only lay there in frustration. When you desperately seek the good, you often destroy it. Life comes to you if you open your hands gently, and no amount of technology is going to help you grasp it forever. That's a delusion.
Seamlessly blending the real world with the digital world. This marks the beginning of a journey that will bring a new dimension to powerful personal technology.
Technology is just another thing to distract you from the real joys of life. Technology will kill you. Run. Run. Run.
Our society seems to be at an all-time high for mental illness and feeling lost and dispossessed. I have had a very strong temptation lately to get rid of my smartphone and get a little burner flip phone so that I can just call and text people. But I realize that so much of life has already become dependent on the tech that I have. I think that I'm stuck and that we're all stuck. Some of us might not want this, but things like VR are going to become the status quo just like the smartphone did. Most people don't think about this kind of stuff, and they're just going to give in to companies who are pumping out products designed to tap into their negative emotions and hence generate endless revenue. But I realize that even if society goes a certain way, I shouldn't make excuses for myself because I do want to live a good life. We ought to be very cautious about our consumption of this technology and hope that the benevolent technocratic overlords are cautious too. But I'm not going to put my money on that, because I spent it all on my iPhone. Apple has a tendency to tightly control the public image of their brand. Like Chick-fil-A, there are certain words that they refuse to use because they have already been associated with other aspects of culture or other products. For instance, they have never used the phrase virtual reality or augmented reality, probably because these things are something that is seen as a bit tacky and outlandish. This linguistic control, paired with the sleek design of their products, gives the buyer a zealous sense that Apple is trustworthy. They want you to feel safe and confident in them because that's all you want. If you feel like you can buy these things, you'll pay any amount for them. I envision a world where mostly everyone is connected to a magical device, wandering around, seeing their own fantastical and entertaining version of reality projected right in front of them. No longer do they have to do this with their minds, having the potential to be more productive while at the same time feeling more pleasure than any human being in the history of our species, but in reality spiraling into a state of the total opposite. The all-consuming technological zeitgeist gives them exactly what they asked for because they never tried to really think about what they ever actually needed. They see everything they could ever want to, except for the actual world, seeing everyone except for each other. But this is what we wanted. Life can be so hard sometimes. Ought we be able to relax every once in a while? After all, the more we feel good, the happier we'll be, right? I worked hard. I just need to decompress sometimes. The more connected we are, the less we'll be alone, right? I trust this brand. All they want is for me to be happy. I can see it now, a world where we're all happy. Imagine it. Imagine a world where you're never bored, where you're never put in danger again. Imagine having the ability to play video games, to watch movies, anywhere you want. Imagine being able to be productive anywhere without the need to sit down at your desk or go to work. Imagine smarter people than you sending you ads for the things that you love wherever you are. Imagine a company building such an accurate digital representation of your mind so that they always know when to give you milky. Imagine never having to go to interviews or talk to people because at a glance we can get access to all their digital profiles, personas, and stats so that people can just judge you based on your merit without speaking a single word to you. Imagine never having to face rejection because you can effortlessly find a perfect partner at a glance, or just create them if they don't exist. Imagine never having to bore yourself with conversation because you can read texts or watch a hologram of subway surfers. Imagine connecting with someone who's not quite up to your liking and having the ability to project someone else's face onto theirs. Imagine being in the opposite of a nightmare. Waking up would simply be agony. You are in that job, on that adventure, or with that person. Now you're awake, staring at the sunbeam running across the ceiling and down the wall. But you don't have to be, as long as you plug in your AC adapter. This time, you can finally fall back to sleep.